Hi guys, welcome to Weekly Assault Special Edition as we have a very special guest, Jeff Gray, aka Chuji, lead game designer for World Takes Mercenaries. It's been a while.
Yeah, we were just talking. Is this the first time in 2019? Because I've been busy as HE double toothpicks.
I believe so.
Because I remember the last time I was here, I gave away a couple things. I think that was the last time.
You gave away a couple. You gave every single tanking game.
Oh, okay. So now details. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's a pleasure to be back here. I missed it. You know what I mean? But man, we've been busy.
Yes.
But it's good to be here. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Again, welcome for joining. As you may know, there was a lot of content released this past Tuesday. Of course, I think the topic of conversation everywhere in social media, in forums, in Reddit.
It's been fun to watch.
Yes, you talking to your grandma, your parents, everywhere is this +1, -1 matchmaking event.
+1, -1.
Yeah, +1, -1 matchmaking event.
Is that what everyone calls it? We always just say +1, -1. Now I want to know if everyone's calling it +1, -1. That's cooler sounding.
I guess.
No, that's cool. It's not wrong.
Very interesting. A lot of feedback being shared, with it being mostly on the positive side. When I say mostly, I'm looking at the polls that players have created, the poll that we ran via Twitter, and it's close to 70-75% of players really liking it. For those of you who are really joining or just hop on the game as of recent, do you want to explain what this event is all about?
So, sure. So this is an event, and it started yesterday, and I believe it goes to the 7th, or is it the 8th?
The 8th.
The 8th, okay. So it goes to the 8th, and what it is +1, -1 is your tier. So unless you're at the very bottom 1 or the very top 10, in which case there's no 11 or 0, you have the opportunity to fight, or you will only fight if it's working, which is why it's an event. We're making sure everything's working, as well as getting reception. Your tier, a tier lower than you, or a tier higher than you. So like, for instance, if you're tier 5, you should only ever see 5s, 4s, or 6s. And obviously, since the 6s can't fight the 4s, again, if you're tier 5, you'll be in a battle with either 5s and 4s, meaning your top tier, or 5s and 6s, meaning your bottom tier. So just apply those numbers, +1, -1, wherever you want. And obviously, if you're 10, you'll always be top of the food chain since you only ever fight 9s. And if you're 1, you're bottom of the food chain since the highest you'll ever go is 2s.
So why are they super excited about it? Because for the past couple of years, they have asked to somewhat test or implement this. Why now?
Why are we doing it now? So it is a good time to do it because it's something we've been talking about, and honestly, we've run sims on it, and we're always really worried that we were going to starve out the matchmaker. And what I mean by that is since we're taking what used to be generally +2, -2 and going +1, -1, there's just less people to fight, right? We're just literally chopping the ends off of wherever your tier is. And we were really worried that it would result in what would be experienced to you guys is just waiting in the queue for 5 minutes and then getting dumped back to the garage. So that's one of the main things we're watching now, because we're like, let's do it now because it's in America, it's 4th of July. A lot of people are playing because they're on holiday or whatever, and it's a good time where we can also watch the activity on all the tiers, on successful matches, on what we call soft fails, where sometimes you might even see a 7v7, which is if the matchmaker says, okay, you've been waiting too long, I need to make a match, maybe not the perfect match, let me look for less people, or if it just blatantly kicks you back to the garage. And now just was a good time with everything else we've been doing, like, let's turn it on for a week, and very consciously turn it off after a week and do a deep dive and see not only subjectively and on the forums and feedback and however else we collect data, what do players think, but objectively look at all of the data and look at the machine and the server and see what did we actually do to the ecosystem.
Now, theoretically, or if everything works great, it's a success, and this is a permanent change. There were a lot of concerns from players in regards to players or tanks that have preferential matchmaking.
Yeah.
So how would that be addressed if this becomes a permanent thing?
Sure. So this is not, there's no decision to make this a permanent thing yet. I mean, it's obviously being talked about. It's being talked about by everyone who's playing. It's being talked about by the developers. And yeah, we talk about it. I'll deal with a lot of what that would essentially require us to do on the development side, but specifically for preferential matchmaking vehicles, And for everybody, just so we're on the same page, is there are premium vehicles in the game which have a more preferential matchmaking criteria than normal vehicles. A good example is you may never fight tiers significantly higher than you because this vehicle, that's one of the benefits of owning this vehicle. So you have a higher likelihood of being a top tier, or at the very least, you know that there's not going to be a giant guy multiple tiers above you just blasting away at you. What is actually happening right now is we've modified preferential matchmaking to fit within +1, -1. And the example I'll give is if your vehicle was preferential matchmaking, not all of them, but a lot of them are what I'm calling +0, as silly as that is, -1. So we'll go back to that tier 5 example. You, as a preferential tank, will never see 6s. You only see 5s and 4s. So you still have an advantage, but it's just as kaleidoscoped as everybody else is. We didn't just completely turn it off. There are also other vehicles like the PZ2J that, because they're lights and they are so powerful, like the armor on that thing's ridiculous for how low it is, that I believe...
You're giving away the secrets. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, and it's also, I don't even remember how you get it. I don't think it's just on the tech tree. Man, there's so many vehicles,
Yeah.
and sometimes I forget how to require. But that one, I believe, and I have to check. So if I leave it, I'm like, oh, God, I'm wrong. I'll tell Arlette, and she'll let you know I'm a liar. I believe that only sees one tier higher than it. It can never see its same tier during this event only. So I'm actually, we'll watch stuff like that to see if that's very restrictive in terms of matchmaking. It has to be 100% its tier. And we'll check that out.
There was a player in the forums. As of right now, I'm gathering all the feedback, which is a lot.
It's like drinking from a fire hose.
It's insane. But one of the comments from a younger biker, he posted in the feedback thread in the forums asking, again, if this becomes permanent, what's going to happen to medals that require fulfillments of destroying tanks that are 2-3 tiers higher than, and it also comes with like mercenary tanks and some of the stages where some of the requirements include destroying tanks 2-3 tiers higher than.
I don't know. Just to be honest, this is part of the reason we aren't just going to be like, it's good, turn it on.
So there's a lot of things to consider before we can even think of making this permanent.
Yeah, it's also a reason this is a test. There are, I mean, just to rattle off an incomplete list, PSN and Xbox Live achievements. We have to audit all of those to make sure we haven't made any of those impossible. Contracts and ops, are all of those viable? Let's take the ones that aren't and figure out how we reconfigure those if we have to, all that stuff. Medals, like you already mentioned, even vehicle balance, like all of the games in the game right now, or all the games in the game, all the vehicles in the game right now, regardless of how you feel about the balance, were considered with the vehicles they could fight, and that has changed if this is permanent, right? So we have to audit everything and see if anything needs to be altered a little bit. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I mean, this would be a drastic change, and there's another reason a week full of data is really, really useful. We'll be looking at not only just like how often did people get into matches, and subjectively do they feel good or bad about it. We'll be looking at like, wow, this set of vehicles all of a sudden earned 50% less XP. Why is that? I'm making that up. No vehicles like that. It's just, or not that I'm aware of. These vehicles never died during the entire event, and they died half the time previous. Like, what did we do? Stuff like that we'll have to look for. And again, those are examples. Those aren't actually happening to my knowledge.
Yeah, what was the other one? Oh yeah, a lot of concerns that this becoming permanent. Again, I'm always pro with if this becomes permanent. I think you kind of touched base on that already, but it's going to have to change somewhat the ecosystem overall.
Absolutely. I mean, you should also already feel platoon changes, because the platoons have to obey the +1, -1, so you should already be seeing restrictions, I guess I'll call them. But even that, we'll have to decide, is there anything else we need to do there? Is there any kind of class restrictions or loosening of class restrictions we need to do there? I don't know. Like, all of this there's actually some sort of comfort in saying you don't know, because part of this event's job is to give us a chunk of time, data, and feedback to say, is it worth doing? What are the ramifications of doing it? What is the work to do it for reals? And it's not just what we're doing right now. Like, turn it on. This is an event mode, similar to how we've done other event modes. It's just a fun thing to try. And I think we'd agree with you. Like, it's subjective. I don't want to say because I've seen people liking it, everyone likes it, because that's insulting to people who don't. But I've seen a lot of positive response myself.
Yeah, and even if the answers are vague, I'd rather just be straightforward and let players know that it's not like, oh, well, 70% like it, let's do it. There's so much testing and analysis and feedback that needs to be gathered to even consider making this a permanent feature, because right now it's an event. And I know players were curious, and those were somewhat unanswered questions as of right now. There's a lot of things to consider, so bear with us. I know it would be a couple of weeks, maybe even several weeks, before we would even know what this event did to the ecosystem and the impact it had with players' battles. There were a couple of comments from players saying that they didn't really like it because they actually had the opportunity to earn more XP and silver by destroying tanks that were much higher than they were.
Yeah, there's an advantage to shooting the big dog, and a disadvantage to shooting the little dog, I guess, to keep going with that analogy. That's part of what we need to watch, because, like, again, objectively, we'll watch the XP and silver earn. That will directly impact this. And then subjectively see, I've seen a lot of people on social media saying, like, I crave that challenge of being a tier 8 that can take down tier 10s. And I'm like, I got you. Like, and I get that feeling. I get that rush. I really enjoy that too. I'm seeing people talking about it now, saying that they see games lasting much longer because it seems to have a little more parity. That's another data point that we need to cross-reference and see, are the games actually going longer? Are lifespans longer? Is that a good thing? It's exciting times. We get to find all this stuff out.
Ryan Sethman from YouTube Live is asking why I don't have an option for +1, -1, +2, -2 in the settings. I like the +1, -1 best. Why not have both?
So if we made that an option, that would be another thing the matchmaker has to consider, is it would say, this person is only +1, -1, and I'm making a match of +2, -2s, so I already have, I'll keep sticking to 5 because it's right in the middle. I already have 5s and 7s in this match. I can't put you in this match, so that's slowing them down as well as slowing you down, because it's almost like two different matchmakers now. Now, sometimes they might align, right? Because +1, -1 is a subset of +2, -2, so you might get in there. We can run sims on that, but that seems like running two different games in parity. That option might not be the best for that reason, because when you make that option, you're impacting other people, and we don't know if it's good or bad or not. But it's an interesting idea.
Thank you. Let's see. Oh, we got a hi for you. They're
Hello.
excited to see you.
It's good to be seen.
Yeah.
I wish I could see you too. I'm looking at just camera.
Please take this opportunity to ask Chuji questions. It's been an eternity since you've been here.
My cup is filthy. Yeah, it has been a long time since I've been here. Like, yeah, this cup, it's time to wash this cup. Jesus.
Next time where he comes back, that cup will be washed.
I apologize for my filthy Chicago cup.
Yeah, as we continue to receive questions, just a couple of reminders. Don't forget that the trading program will be available until July 8th, so take advantage of that. Then we also have two new premium tanks. We have the Falcon T92 and the Eagle 7, which we will be giving away today.
What?
In celebration for tomorrow's Independence Day, 4th of July.
We're just going to give stuff away? That's unheard of.
Absolutely. Every time you're here, we always give more than we should. Luckily,
there's a little edge to that.
Yeah, I know. Luckily, there's a couple of people that are not in the office today, so we can go bananas.
I would not expect a repeat of last time. Those have to be special, and that was a one-time thing as far as I'm concerned until I changed my mind. But yeah, I don't think we're going to give away the keys of the kingdom today.
There's a question from Twitch. I think it's related also to Matchmaker. Why isn't a skill-based matchmaker possible?
Skill-based matchmaking. So let's just go over a little bit of what that is when we're talking about it. Is instead of relying on the tier of your vehicle, or probably in addition to relying on the tier of your vehicle, looking at all of your stats, how often you win, how often you lose, how much damage you do, all of the relevant stats that would be into skill-based matchmaking, and then however we compile that into whatever system, whether it's an off-the-shelf existing system or something we create ourselves, it is yet another layer that will slow things down or segregate the audience. I would personally love a skill-based matchmaking. I would start that over. I would love a skill-based matchmaking system, and that is something that comes up not daily, but weekly. And we haven't found one that doesn't just cripple our sims. So we're not there yet. We're just not there yet. You started this conversation, Arlette, with why now for +1, -1. This wasn't like similar to when we're done. We're not just gonna be like, everybody liked it, click, it's on forever. We didn't just one day decide, oh, hell, I'm not doing anything, let's turn on +1, -1. Like, it was a ticket within our tracking system of tasks, and it bounced back and forth and probably got closed as no fix and then reopened again by Max Chaos or whomever wrote it. I'm not trying to poop on whoever wrote it, I just don't remember, probably him. And it was the right time. We looked at all the data and said, let's do it. And we're actually watching real time, well, hourly, to see if we've created something terrible that's destroying everyone's experience. Like literally, like impossible to get in matches, people are always losing, whatever. And we got our finger on the off switch if necessary, and so far, it hasn't been necessary. So kind of rambling, but yeah, that's skill-based. We're far away from that and seeing something where all the skills will match in a time that we're happy with.
A couple of questions not related to Matchmaker. Any news on care package collaborations with Twitch? None at this time. The last one was for World Tanks PC. And as of right now, we don't have any collaborations with them. If Twitch ever wants to do one, they already know that they can reach out to us. But for console, not happening at this time. Tier 10 camos, that's an ongoing suggestion ticket that's been open. We'll definitely follow up. There was another one for Chisel Tier 10. No ETA at this time. I know that's one of the mercenary tanks that players know about that has not been released as of yet, so
everybody wants
stay
that chisel.
tuned. Oh yeah, everyone does want it. Bilgo, 1971. Love the +/-1. Thank you, Tolucci.
Hey, no problem.
To me, it's like a tongue twister.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say.
Is that what you say? +1, subtract 1? Now you don't even remember how you
I know, dang it! Oh, this is gonna be the bane of my existence.
Why don't you just call it 0, give or take?
0, give or take. Totally do that. Please drop questions for Jeff. We're gonna keep him here until he answers every single one of them.
Wow.
No, I'm
I did
kidding.
see a question while you were asking. Somebody was
Yeah, go for
asking
it.
about sales or discounts on other nations besides
Yes.
USA. This week is ironic to ask that question, but like that would be made in 2 minutes. Ask that question.
Or in Twitch.
I would love to know which nation is starved of a discount. Maybe that'll bias which one we do next. And like, yeah. We'll figure that out. There's no reason it always has to be the US of A.
Timothy M, any update on the Jamaican flag? No update. Frankly, when it's individual flag additions to the game, they are part of a mass ticket where we gather all the other flags that players are requesting. Not that they're not important, but the priority level for them, it's very low. An example would be, and I'm being extreme here, it's the matchmaking event we're running or adding a flag to the game.
Not quite apples to apples, but yeah, I get your point.
But in a sense, work is still required from the development team, so there's always a process to follow, so it will take a while before that even makes it in game. Just being honest, so you don't keep coming back, expecting like, it's today. I will keep you updated though, once we have any movement on that ticket.
Gotcha. Mason Tucker asks if we have any fun plans for the 4th of July.
Ooh, yes.
I'm going to barbecue in the backyard and play fetch with my dog. What are you doing?
Eating. That's yes.
What you should do.
I'm going to eat.
So you can't move your legs.
Yes. And then what else am I going to... Oh, eat some more. And after that, more eating.
You'll have food brought to you once your legs fail. I think that's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah, please let us know what you guys are also going to be doing for the break in 4th of July.
Nice. Oh, can I interrupt you like that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
DWP1992 asks me, or at me, any new updates on War Stories? So War Stories, we all look at those as well. We're actually, as you can tell, even with the event we're doing right now, kind of focusing on the multiplayer environment. Same way that we had ranked battles recently. What I'm now calling, just to be honest, the Corellia debacle, but at least we got that up and going. War Stories, we are We're looking at, I can't announce or say that there is going to be a new story or there's any modifications to the existing stories. But what would you like to see? Like, is there another story you'd like to have told? Some other kind of alternate history? Something that you're yearning to get at? Yeah, we're open for that. That sounds exciting to me.
Fury War story.
The Fury War story? Well, that would actually involve a lot of legal and money.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Dang it. But it was a player request a very long time ago.
No, it's a cool idea. Like, if we threw money at that, we could actually have video clips and everything like that, but that would require money.
Would we be able to do an Alien War story?
Like the franchise, or just as an abstract thing?
Like the robber in Moon River or Mars. It is a war story.
Yeah, we could do something like that. Remember way back when we did a Proving Ground event map where aliens took over the Lunars and you had to fight them?
Yay.
Yes. So yeah, we could leverage something like that. That might be fun.
What was the name? Day of Independence?
Day of Independence. If only there was some sort of correlation between tomorrow and that event. Yeah, it's weird.
Stewart21, any reward tank news? We're halfway through the annual event. Yes, in the next couple of weeks, you will be getting the information. We will make it a big announcement. I know players are going to be excited about the tank. Apologies for taking us this long to announce it, but we needed to work a couple details because, as you know, the original requirement was for players to fulfill every single season game, which is like winter, spring, summer, and so on. And I know a couple of you really didn't get a chance to do it because you guys didn't even know what the tank was for the end of the year. So we are working for the information, and hopefully you guys will be super happy.
For sure. By the way, while you were talking, I'm seeing some cool ideas for war stories. I'm also seeing someone ask Mr. Mendez, are we getting more tier 10 premiums? Tier 10 premium. There was the event where you could buy it with free XP.
Yeah, the VK7201P.
There's no plans for that right now. But if you're excited about that, we'll take a look. And
Wheel light tanks.
Wheeled light tanks, wheeled vehicles.
Wheeled vehicles.
Oh man, that's a whole bugaboo. Yeah, that's still on the backlog. Actually, it's fun. We'll just talk about it a little bit. Controlling wheeled vehicles is much, much different than tracked vehicles. Tracked vehicles in general iPhone prop, you can do this. But wheels, you have to do this, as we all know. So getting the controls to feel right, as well as all the other technical details of building the suspension and the transmissions and getting all of that stuff over from either the PC or from something we want to brew ourselves is something that we have actually started and stopped worked on, but I don't have any dates for that. That is an interesting idea.
Oh my God, Scanman6. I heard a rumor Raibot was leaving. Dun, dun, dun.
You're leaving us?
No, I'm not. You guys are not going to get rid of me.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to scoop everybody and saying you're leaving.
No, you know what? I think it was because we are in the process of looking for another community manager. So I think a couple players.
In addition.
Yeah, in addition. They were saying, oh no, she's leaving. No, I'm here. I'm here to party with tanks.
And eat till your legs don't move.
I think it's time to start the giveaway. Do you want to do that, or you don't want to give away tanks?
No, you know what? I don't think anyone out there is interested in getting something for free. Let's skip it.
Okay. Lovato79 says googly evil
No, wait.
Googly evil
I changed my
eyes.
mind. I changed my mind. Let's actually give something away.
Okay. How about we give all 4 patriotic tanks in one bundle?
To start?
One giveaway for each channel. So we're gonna give away
2 4-packs.
Yeah, the T92, the Falcon, Eagle 7, Freedom, and the Patriot.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, so for a chance to win all 4 tanks, along with your gamer tag, what do players have to type in chat, Jeff?
What are the tanks again?
The Falcon, Eagle 7, Freedom, and the Patriot.
Okay, Freedom.
America. I mean, Freedom
Eagle.
is just like...
Hold on, I'm doing some math. Math is hard for me. 15. All right.
Join the club.
No, okay.
Have a donut.
I'm going to keep it simple. To be person, no, I'll just pick 2 because my brain is tired. To get those tanks, you'll get all 4 tanks. What is the sum of the tiers of the Eagle and the Freedom? If you added those 2 numbers together. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So if it was 2 tier 2s, your answers would be 4. It's not 4.
I was gonna say. Tank Source is doing math on the back scene. Oh, there we go. We're starting to see. Don't forget to put in your gamer tag. No gamer tag, no tanks. I actually got a message from a player. I forgot my gamer tag and I won. I'm like, oh,
no.
You get nothing.
We're seeing a lot of the right answer, though. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm seeing a lot of the right answer.
But see, that's a problem. If someone jumps in and says the wrong number, everyone that saw and they don't know, they're like, it's that one. So, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of, okay, see.
The right answer is clearly 36. Who said 36? 48. Wow, we got 2 tier 24s. That's actually that's a big reveal. Our next premium tank we're going to release is a tier 24. But it has +1, -1 matchmaking, so it can only fight itself.
Tanxor is just throwing random numbers in there.
It's just going all the way up the line.
Like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
120, 89, 52.
All right. Well, to be fair, it took me a long time to do this math, and I was looking at the numbers. So I cannot make fun of any of you. I'm just a slow human being. They don't pay me for math. I have people that work for me that do math. I'm kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, but it sounds weird when I put it that way.
Dun, dun, dun. What else do we have? Oh, that's right. In the premium tech tree, we have the Sherman and the Absolution on sale, and we also have 4th of July bundles. So if you don't win the tanks, sorry, but don't forget we have bundles with patriotic tanks on discount.
All right. Do you want to announce one and I'll announce the other?
No, you're here. You're gonna announce both.
I'm gonna announce both.
The honor. Go for it.
Okay. Emro Haley? Is that how you pronounce that, you think?
Amara Hayali?
Emro Hayali, who's Amrog, gets the answer right with 15, so enjoy your 4 vehicles. And Chorizo X, or X Chorizo X, also has the right answer with 15 on the Xbox One. So congratulations, there's 8 vehicles out there in the ecosystem ready to fight. Good job.
Congratulations.
Yay!
I wanna say a couple things. For the past month, I've been actually traveling for work for half of it, so I have not been here for quite a lot of time.
Did you find that dead fish I left at your desk?
Yes.
Okay.
It was an odd surprise.
Well, you know.
I do appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, I wanted something that kept giving with that smell.
Ew, it's so gross.
Yeah, well, you know.
Anyway, so yeah, I am very well aware. I yet to announce the winners of the Do a Barrel Roll contest as well as the Get Out of My Way.
Come on.
I know. It's not that I've slacked. I have not been here for 2 weeks. So next week, I promise you guys, I'm going to announce the winners during weekly assault. And then Tanxor is going to put a couple of, he's waving. He's like, yay. Yeah. He's going to put a couple of compilations where we're going to show all the videos from our players. It's going to be a long video because we have close to 60 submissions of 30 seconds each.
Nice.
So it's going to be a long video. And Tanxor is already having a heart attack. But still waving. He's in good spirits.
Yeah.
Good. Please drop any questions you have for Chuji. He is here. It's been a while. We've missed him. Anything related to the development of World Tanks Mercenaries? Drop it in chat. Drop it in chat. I want
to handle this one.
Go for it.
Luke OJ16V3 over on the Twitches. Are you sorting Arty out? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, I have to do math if I can do all those question marks. I'm going to assume that is a I don't like Arty statement. We actually are experimenting with some Arty things that I can't really speak to. But I did want to acknowledge that Arty is a important part of our ecosystem, but I'm also not going to ignore that there are people that just do this, shake their fist and want to flip a table and make the world burn. And there's other people that really enjoy them. And our job is to make sure that all of those people on both sides of the fence go, yay, with whatever we do with that vehicle class. So stuff is in the works. I am purposely being vague, but I also didn't want to say nothing, move on. Yeah, we have some experiments, which also, to be completely transparent, could collapse and fail and be garbage. In which case, I'll tell you, yeah, we were working on something and it didn't work out, so we're not going to do it. But it's not nothing.
Any possibility to see black tanks for the Italian, Czech, and the Polish tech tree?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's a really good idea. Like, a big definite maybe. The reason I give a maybe is I don't actually, I guess I could. I should see what happens if I do. I don't just go out there and be like, we're making these premium vehicles, go. Like, I have to make sure with publishing and marketing and my boss, everybody says, yeah, slot those in and here's where they should go.
Tell them
But
I approve.
I think it's kind of, it's conspicuous, right? I mean, it's obvious because those nations didn't exist when those vehicles first came out, but it's conspicuous. So, yeah, it's something we should think about. It's something we should address.
Yes.
Should we do a black mercenary tag?
Ooh,
I
sure.
mean, and have just like some sort of mega contract?
I like that.
Something, you know, it's a thing. It's a thing.
I just saw. Oh, where did he go? Where did he go? He was asking for his premium Hellcat.
Premium Hellcat.
Acid Fiend 23. There you go. He's saying hi, and
Hello.
he's keeping tabs on you about his premium Hellcat.
Yeah. Sure. We'll continue the joke. I'm actually, yeah. I'll just make the Hellcat in everyone's tech tree premium, and I'm like, you all get it. Hey, someone asks if we do +1, -1, are we going to buff or alter the stats of pref matchmaking vehicles? That is certainly on the table if we decide this is something that should be permanent. I wouldn't take anything off the table at this time. Everything would need careful consideration. Like, we wouldn't just be flippant about it. But I think anytime we want to tie our hands behind our back when we're doing such a dramatic change to the matchmaker by taking the highest tier and the bottom tier and saying bye-bye, we're hampering ourselves on our own goals. So yeah, all of that will be considered.
Vader 16 buffed the box tanks, the SUI 100. Why? Okay, so yes,
Just double its armor, no problem.
the armor. That's what I was gonna say. The armor is like very weak, but man, can that thing punch you in the face? That would be super deadly. No.
We're just gonna change the projectile art to a fist. So you get the fist hitting you.
Though that would be terrible. I'm down to get new black mercenary tanks for the nations that doesn't have them yet. This is from Chorizo, our winner. Well,
Man, now it sounds like we're trolling him. I don't mean to do that.
no, he knows. Nothing but love for our viewers right now.
I'm seeing a lot of requests for a mercenary tier 10 Arty. That's funny. I think there's troll going on here, but you know what's funny is right underneath it is get rid of mercenaries. So there's a bit of a controversy. There's a difference of opinion right there.
I do have to say, I do see frequent comments from players asking for a mercenary artillery, and we had already said that it was not happening, but they keep asking. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. You know, I know players are like, oh, artillery, but the players that do play artillery, they kind of feel like, oh.
They want to work for a contract.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Rogue Soul says Merc tanks are pretty pointless. I actually appreciate that. My response to that is don't do the contracts and blow them away when you see them on the field and smile. If people do enjoy doing those contracts and getting those vehicles, they will have fun as well. I think you both can murder each other on the virtual battlefield as much as you'd like. I think that's why the game's cool. Pick the nation and the flavor you want. Mm-hmm. And Hanzaman010 says Chinese Arty line. I'd actually have to even do research. Like, I don't know off the top of my head if they ever, I mean, they must have artillery, but I don't know within the time frame we're talking about.
I asked Daryl, not for Chinese, but for Japanese, and he was like, you know?
Yeah.
And when you know he goes that way, it's like, okay, then maybe not. Right. See, Texas is laughing because it's true. Yeah, he's like, and then his eyes go up in the sky, and then he's lost in his own thoughts. Gotta love Dr. Higa.
Yeah, you do. I'm dealing with a lot of the criticism now, and I really like it. Red Hot Worst, wow, says, can you guys please delete these console-exclusive maps? They are not really fun to play. Which ones do you mean? Do you mean Pacific Island? Do you mean, like, which ones do you mean? We'll take a look at them. We'll see if they're in balance. We'll see where people trend to go. We may even do, what do you think of Pac Island, if that's the one you're referring to? Do you mean every single one? That's a bit of a blanket statement. But yeah, give us some details. We'll take a look.
Another question about Frontlines, question mark? We had already said that's really not.
I feel like even in the being gone since the entirety of 2019, I don't have any extra information on that, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Yeah. custom skins or variants. Comes from Kawaii Mausu from YouTube Live.
Custom skins or variants. Are you meaning like the Freedom is a Super Pershing, like that kind of thing? Like you want more of that kind of stuff? Or do you mean something different, like extra cool camos? What exactly are you looking for?
Are any new maps coming in the future?
We always have maps in the pipe, and a lot of them we play and go, There was a desert map that I don't even remember the name because the name was placeholder, and we played that for a while, and it wasn't, that dog was not hunting, so it got quietly retired. Maps have an important role, obviously, and we actually have a ton of maps, like even if you don't count variants, so we want to make sure additions are good, to be blunt. Also, I think we are also willing to look at the distribution of maps across battle tiers. That's another thing we'll have to look at if we go +1, -1, is do we need to reevaluate which battle tier range can see which map? That might change as well.
That's true.
Yep.
Map balancing. Crossplay, question mark. This comes from Fatty Drives the Bus. Oh my God, you're...
Whoa, what? Fatty drives the bus?
Oh my God, you guys.
And he or she, I can't infer gender from Fatty drives the bus. Crossplay? Yeah, when you're on Xbox One, you're playing against the Xbox 360. I know you mean Sony and Microsoft. Those are above my pay grade, honestly. You've broken Arlette. You've broken. She's now fanning herself. This entire next part of it. Do you want to take this laugh break to give away more stuff?
Yes, please. Oh my God. I mean, when I laugh a lot, I get super red and then I start crying and then my makeup runs and it's not good. Just,
all right.
Shout out to you because that gamer tag is awesome.
Are you shouting out to Fatty Drives the Bus? That's the next merch contract we do. That's a good name for the crew that comes with it. That would be an amazing, like that. I don't think that can happen now that I've said that out loud because that's someone's gamer tag, and I didn't. But that's funny. Are we giving away the same thing, or do you want to give away something else?
Yes, please. Let's do another bundle of the Falcon,
Freedom,
Eagle, and Patriot.
Patriot, Falcon, Freedom, Eagle. Oh, what's something else? What's another good thing to say? Arlette XC failed to run. Acid Fiend. That's funny. Okay. What is the designation numbers for the Freedom tank, for the non-Freedom version of it? That one's easy. And if you're a hardcore military person and I'm using the designation numbers wrong, I apologize. But I think you know what I mean. If you list that, those 4 vehicles are we're rolling the dice to give those away. If you want a clue on what the hell I mean, it goes before Super Pershing on the normal version.
Now that World Tanks PC released their medium Swedish, Czech tech tree line, are we going to implement those in the future?
Eventually, I'd be shocked if we didn't. Actually, it's interesting. Doing new tech like wheeled vehicles makes doing existing vehicles, like those all go through the same team. So not that I'm saying which goes first between the chicken and the egg, but it's a good example of stuff we have to pick and choose. So all of that stuff is fighting for supremacy now.
All right, there we go. It's the T26E4 as everyone is sharing already.
Yes. I did see one T26E5 and I was like, ooh, but that was not true. It is the T26E4.
Patriot would be the 5. Right? Yeah. Hold on. Where's my Patriot? I know I has it. I don't have it. There we go. There you go.
I knew you were right.
Oh, you were giving me the look like
I was trying to decide whether to say that guy's name to you again and just destroy you.
No.
Instead, I'll take a sip of my dirty coffee cup.
Oh boy.
No double dipping, right? If you already won last time, you ain't gonna win the second time.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, you would just get half of its value in silver, right? So that's, and I guess 4 garage slots.
Sorry to interrupt. Soyboricua21, this is hopeless. Don't be sad. Hey Chuji, can there be a rule set to prevent bottom tiers 8 and tiers 10 where there needs to be a certain amount of tanks I can't see the rest because of the giveaways. Amount of text to prevent only 3 tier 8s in the match, question mark.
Well, right now, you won't see 8s and 10s. You're referring to back when we go to +2, -2. Is there a way to prevent... You want equal parity of tier 8s? I'm going to assume that you want 6 tier 8s total, 3 on each team, and that's it. Once that happens, close the door on tier 8s if there's tier 10s in that match. We can do different if-then statements like that. That's something else we can explore. The interesting thing, actually one of the things we didn't talk about much is one of the things that actually has value is clarity and simplicity of the matchmaker as well. Now, it's not the only governor, but like how quickly I describe +1, -1 is part of why that is so attractive. Part of the way I can describe skill-based matchmaking, even though I didn't give the exact statistics that make up your skill, I can tell you the better you are, the more likely you're going to be matched against equal skill players. When we start saying, if you were a tier 8, you might fight tier 10s unless there's already 6 other tier 8s in the match, that might be better for the game, in which case we'll do it anyway, but the burden of explanation is on us because it's not like something we can even like just do without broadcasting, right? Because if, let's say you, me, and 3 of these fine players want to form a platoon, and 4 of us want to use tier 8s, the platoon would have to shut down that 4th tier 8 in case tier 10 is the match we're matched into. So then we'd have to tell you why. We can't just be like, nope. Like, right. So all of that stuff is stuff we have to consider. Let's give away our stuff. Like, yes. It's a good question. I didn't want to skip it.
No. Go for it.
All right. Our first winner is Donnie007 Thanks, or THX. I'm saying that's thanks. You have won yourself 4 fine vehicles, and Echo Delta 5. Echo Delta 5 has 4 new vehicles. Congratulations to our winners. The T26E4 was the correct answer. The T26E5, as Arlette pointed out, is the Patriot.
Yeah. A couple questions. Wicked Monsters asking if we could have monster vehicles for all nations. We're missing several.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of monsters, and Halloween is coming up. I'm not gonna lie, right outside these doors, the Halloween event is being iterated on. Like, it's straight up, including new vehicles and new awakened goodness and
Halloween mode confirmed.
Yeah. Well, come on, if we didn't do it,
yeah,
I'd be like, it would cause rage. Like, I look forward to when I have all those dormant vehicles going, oh, I want my awakened vehicles. I can't wait to use my Chinese vehicle and teleport in those pads and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's all being happened.
Would what monster be artillery? We don't have.
We're gonna do a Chinese monster artillery that when you shoot, it's not a projectile. It's actually the bog horror, who is one of your platoon mates.
Oh my gosh!
I'm kidding. That would be awesome.
Another player was asking for more googly eyes. You have no idea how awesome players are like, yeah, we need more. I've never seen that much happiness out of the emblems.
The googly eyes?
The googly eyes. I can't say any more awesome things about it, but players have been asking for more, so.
You know what I like to do?
What?
I took my T1E6X1, or PS, depending on which one you're in, which has a big old emblem right in front, so you could put like a Cyclops eye right in the front. It's kind of fun.
Crossplay status.
Crossplay status. I think I actually touched on this in this stream a little more. As Microsoft, Sony, above my pay grade. I have no new information. I want it desperately. That's all I got.
Any chance of getting arena competitions on Seasing 451?
You mean like tournaments? Or what, an arena competition? That sounds different than a tournament to me. Yeah,
it does, but I believe it's more like official tournaments. I think that's more of a publishing community.
Like a meat grinder?
Right.
All right.
No, we are in discussions about competitive events that we are planning for the next couple months. So more information on that. Stay tuned. Scott Rowler, keep bugging Sony. Microsoft wants crossplay.
Yeah, for sure. Someone says peace and love Jaffa Cakes, I think it was. They want more than one tank to trade in. I actually think that's a really cool idea. I think that even came up on a stream before. I'm assuming you mean I want new tank. I want to trade in old tank A and old tank B to subsidize the cost of new tank. I think that's a fine enhancement of that system, and I think we should write that down.
Okay. I literally just answered on the forums today. Someone was asking about that, and I told him that basically that's how the system is right now. But if you're saying it could, I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, when we to talk about like development, especially for a system like trade-in, we don't always like right now it's one tank for one tank. That was the first pass to see reception. I think we've even like massaged it since we released it. In this specific case, it's not this is the perfect implementation. It shall never change. Cast it in stone. No, it's like, hey, if it needs to be expanded, we'll do it. But this is a good first pass to get out there and see what the reception is.
Friends in ranked battles 1, please. Not sure what that means.
French tier 1 ranked battle? Is that what
No, friends. I think he means platoon ranked battles.
Oh, friends. I heard French.
Friends.
Oh, platoons and ranked battles with the size of those teams, that would be demonstrable advantage. Something to think about, though. I've seen that come several times. And also, no, those are my trees. Can the Italian tier 10 get a buff? Right now it has 14.14 sec reload, enough compared to the PC. The Italian auto reloaders, especially at the higher tiers, we'll take a look. My pause is the auto reloader mechanism and the way that it accelerates or decelerates based on your rate of fire is something we needed to look at a lot of the data from PC, do our best first guess, and iterate. And I think the time is to look at the data again. We'll see where we are. And apparently we have 3 minutes left. I'm joking.
No,
I know it's line 15. I'm being silly. That joke is really hilarious. If you can see our screen, no, it's not. It's stupid. Don't worry about it.
What else do you want to share with the players before we sign out?
Something I personally, I miss them dearly. Like I'm actually online a little bit less, and I'm also online a lot with a gamer tag that I haven't broadcast. I think the Chuji tag doesn't go online as much because it turns into a lot of questions, which I kind of feel like a jerk because I don't answer on Xbox Live all that often because there's like hundreds, and I wanted to experience it kind of incognito and, grind up a contract or do stuff. So I have gamer tags that are non-broadcast that I do stuff like that for. And that also means that I can't just be like, hey, everybody, let's platoon with that high-pitched voice. But yeah, it's great to be back here. It's great to be in front of the camera. I want to thank everybody for all of their feedback on +1, -1. I said this in a couple of the social medias. One thing that would be really helpful, more details always better. So we will always take I love it or I hate it. Even better is I love it or I hate it because of. And if I could ask a personal favor, when you say, when I was in my tier 6 heavy, these things are happening to me. Whether it's I'm always matched in the perfect match and I'm making thousands of XP and you guys are amazing. Or I've been thrown back into the garage every single time. I haven't been in a match since you turned on this event. I hate everything about you. The detail is good. So thank you for that ahead of time.
Yes, please send us all the information. In fact, like I said before coming here, I was gathering first impressions, and then I'm going to move on to what you've experienced. So please visit the forums. We also have a page open on Reddit as well as Twitter. And I'm also a part of some of World of Tanks Mercenaries community Facebook pages and gathering feedback in there as well. If you have me on Discord, send me a message. Even though Discord is not an official Wargaming channel, this is one of those events where we need to gather feedback from everywhere. But yeah, so far so good.
So far so good.
So far so good.
Yeah, we'll keep watching. This is like day 2. And I'm actually super excited for the weekend because that's typically when people come out of the woodwork to play. And we'll just see what happens then.
I think it's about time to finish the stream so you can go wash that coffee cup, which I don't think it's bad because actually mine's got a bunch of coffee stains around.
Would you think it's bad if I told you that's not coffee?
Chocolate.
Yes.
Yay! What did I get? I won.
You get, I forgot the gentleman's name that made you lose your, I almost said a word I can't say on a live stream. Rhymes with zit. Never mind.
What? Oh, no. Well,
no chocolate for you.
Okay, boo.
All right, happy 4th of July, no chocolate for you.
Yay. All right, guys, I will see you next week, Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Time.
Hopefully I'll see you before 6 more months.
definitely going to have you again for
Yeah.
sure. What else? Don't forget the training program runs until July 8th. Test the +1, -1 matchmaking events.
Zero give or take.
Yes, all your feedback is essential for future changes. Don't forget that for sale we have the Falcon T92 as well as the Eagle 7, and we also have 4th of July bundles available for sale. So if you want to snag the Freedom, Patriot, and a bunch of other tanks like deals of the week, for example, the Sherman and the Absolution, you can visit our portal store or in-game store, and you're scrolling through.
Ooh, we're selling the Striker?
Yeah.
I love me some TD.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
take care. Bye-bye.